Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Hey everybody, we back again.
Hey, we're back again. We're back.
I'm Spencer, your co-host. Of course, we have our licensed clinical therapist, Nas.
Dr. Nasty Nas.
That's his name, folks. Remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. Completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to wrap those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, today, we actually have a special guest. Our guest crafts stories about the masks that we all wear, how identity, expectation, and culture shape the personas we show the world. He also writes, edits, and produces the podcast The Masks We Wear, where he brings together mental health, comics, anime, and personal narrative to explore how people hide, protect, and eventually reclaim themselves. Please welcome Quincy Simmons to the show.
What's up, brother? How you
Yeah,
doing?
welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Of course, man. Glad to have you. So this is a different type of podcast that we're doing today. Quincy has been a follower and a fan of ours, and we wanted to, he emailed us and asked like, "Hey, do you mind if come on, or you can come on my show, and then I can ask some questions, and we can talk about neurodiversity, which, of course, we're the experts, right? We're the experts.
Well,
We know all about the neurodiverse. We eat Legos. Anywho, we want to have him on, and he's going to ask us some questions. We're going to be talking about the good doctor, whether that's good representation, whether it's not, maybe in some areas, maybe not, as well as just about some mannerisms for people that are on the spectrum. Also, sensory issues, handshakes, representation, just overall. And then we're also going to be talking a little bit about speech too. So, Nas, anything before we get into it and give the reins to Quincy?
Quincy, when did you see this? Did you see this when it first came out a long time ago, or was it recent that you saw this stuff?
So with a good doctor, I had originally watched the show when it first came out. And then I remembered it, because I feel like it does have, definitely conflicting representations of neurodiversity, like some good, some bad. So.
Okay. Spence, have you ever seen it or no?
No, only clips.
Clips.
Only clips online.
Clips everywhere, yeah. When the hell did it come out? It was
like 2017, 2018.
So I was in Minnesota still. Okay. I remember me and my dad watching the motherfucker. We was in there crying. I ain't gonna lie. It was a tough first season, my guy. He's going through a lot of shit, this and that, and the deaf stuff, and I think he almost killed himself one time, and then he gets a girl, and then she disappears, and that's devastating. It's a lot. I think we stopped watching it. I think like season 2 or 3. My dad's like, it's no longer about the kid anymore. It's like all this romance shit, and he's like, yeah, I'm done. I was like, yeah, I'm probably done too.
Fair enough.
I had enough, but I'm excited to talk about it. A couple of the scenes were actually from the first season, so I'm excited to talk about that because that's when it was like legit raw and awesome. But yeah, Spencer already hit the topics. We're gonna hit the points. We're gonna have some fun today. Quincy will shoot us some questions. Now see how it goes. We're just gonna vibe. Let's do it. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Oh, so is this me asking? Okay.
No, you gotta say whoop
No,
whoop.
you gotta say whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. You just
Whoop,
gotta
whoop.
say it one time.
Say whoop whoop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You got
Nervous. It's all good.
It's all good. He got the
Happens to
sugars.
the best of it. He's like, no. Not putting me on the spot.
Yeah. What do I do? All right, let's do it.
The rain smelled like ice cream. My bunny went to heaven in front of my eyes. The day that the copper pipes in the old building smelled like burnt food. My brother went to heaven in front of my eyes. I couldn't save them. It's sad. Neither one had the chance to become an adult. They should have become adults. They should have had children of their own and loved those children. And I want to make that possible for other people. And I want to make a lot of money so that I can have a television.
Dr. Murphy, I want to be the first to welcome you to San Jose St. Bonaventure Hospital. We're very proud to have you.
I deserve to be a surgeon.
Dr. Murphy.
Dr. Hahn, I want my old job back. You're making a mistake.
Am I, Shaun?
Yes.
Because it seems like you're doing really well in pathology. You made a great save on an earlier case and a great save today. You keep doing well, and over time, we can build to you having more responsibility.
No. I'm a surgeon. I am not leaving your office until you reinstate me.
What are you doing, Shaun? Do you think ordering me to do something will change my mind? Do you really think it's a good idea to try and bully me?
I am a surgeon. I am a surgeon.
Do you realize that you're proving my point? That you're acting immature, showing that you don't know how to communicate and you can't control your emotions.
I am a surgeon.
But you do have a talent that I value. So I'm going to give you one last chance to maintain your dignity and leave my office. Now. Because if I have to call security, you understand that I'm also going to have to fire you.
I am a surgeon. I am a surgeon. I am a surgeon. I am a surgeon. Dr. Hahn, I am a surgeon.
Hey everyone, have you been looking for something to help you when you feel extra fidgety? How about when you have a sensory overload? Well, I'm here to introduce you to the Oh No Fidget Roller. It helps me regulate and also feel at ease. The Oh No Roller comes in 5 different materials, including plastic, aluminum, steel, titanium, and silicone. You can use our code DSP10 to get 10% off your order when you visit onoroller.com and get your roll on. And we're back again.
Hey, we're back and we're live. Just as live as the dog that I led in a group therapy this week. And the dog's got anxiety. So I let the dog, the dog got anxiety. And so as soon as the dog walks in, looks at me, looks at the other kids in group therapy, literally just starts taking a massive shit.
Nice. As one does.
The dog literally just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
But I was like,
that same feeling in social settings.
Oh my God. The kid,
shit myself.
This is my autism group too, and the kid's like tweaking out who brought the dog in. Dog's petrified, my guy. Like,
yeah, of course.
Sadly, and since we got a little bit different time now, dogs get PTSD too, man. Right? I mean, dogs had trauma, was beaten a ton before my kiddo took it over, right? And so they're just terrified of like man now, just terrified in general.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Dogs are smart, right? They're emotionally smart. Like my stepbrother, he had a dog and then he moved out and left the dog with my dad. That dog was so sad after he left. Like it would look out like all the time at like a specific time when he would always come back, even though it's like dogs don't know time, but somehow they know. They know. And like it would always just look out the window and just be like, where is he? Is he here yet? And you're like, Jesus.
Wild.
Dogs are just so smart.
Wow, they know, man. They got anxiety. They got ADHD for sure. Poor dog. It just sat on the sofa, and then you could just see it, like terrified of everyone. And it was just kind of shaking. And eventually, it calmed down. And then some of the girlies were like petting it and chilling. So then it was fine.
Yeah.
But as soon as everyone had to leave, homeboy was terrified again. Tail literally between his legs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's like the opposite of cats. Like cats, they're just like, get the fuck away from me, bro. I don't even care. All these people, fuck you. Right? With its little paw, just like.
Yep, little claw. So yeah, we're live. Just as live as that dog's anxiety. Poor thing. But
Anywho,
I'll update people if it gets better.
Yes. All right. So, like I said, we have Quincy on. Quincy, you have some questions for us. General questions about neurodiversity, and then we'll get into a good doctor. But we wanted to give you some time to ask us some questions, and then we'll go from there. So over to you, good sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Spence. So just regarding neurodiversity, sorry.
You're good. Go.
Just regarding like neurodiversity's depiction in media, just generally, like. How can media better show the range and humanity of neurodivergent individuals?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you kind of speak on it first, kind of from your point of view, not clinically, and then I'll vibe.
Yeah, I think that a good way to actually show representation is to have different types of people of the spectrum actually throughout the show. Because everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to have a different experience. And that goes for a lot of different things. But when it comes to people on the spectrum, there's no just one way to show that. And so I think having different sides of representation does go a long way. I also think that like maybe having people that are specialized in autism, like on set and things like that. We talk about having therapists on, like we just did for Thunderbolts. That's still up on my thing. We talk about that. We talk about like how they actually had therapists on the set. It's like, why not have people who actually are trained for those that are on the spectrum or have specialties in autism? Why not have them on set too, and also have them kind of coach directors, producers on what autism can look like in different lenses? That's my opinion.
Facts. I'm gonna pivot the question a little bit and just carry on what Spence said. There's a big movement with just making sure that folks with disabilities are the people playing these roles. So right, that can also be a magnificent way as well too. So if there are autistic actors, let's have them portray it to show even more representation. I think one of the doctors later in this season actually is autistic, is an autistic woman that's actually one of the medical doctors. I'm pretty sure this is the series. Young blonde girly. Forgot her name, but I follow her on Instagram. I know that she comes in as well too. That could be magnificent for all of us, right? Because we're having, ethnicities play actually the ethnicities, which they are, right? Because we didn't used to do that. They'll be like, "Oh, this is from Egypt," and it'd be like, Oh, who the fuck is it? It's Brad Pitt. It was like playing roles and shit like that. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, a few different people. They're just like, I swear to God, he's from the Middle East. You're like, no, he's not. No, he's not.
He white as hell. Like this motherfucker.
He just got a tan. All right.
Yeah, they'll spray him with like that golden tan. I'm like,
yeah.
Is this
like, no, it was Jake Gyllenhaal. He did the Prince of Persia. And,
oh yeah.
And he was like supposed to be Persian. You're like, he's the whitest guy you've ever seen in your life.
It's wild, man. Oh yeah, it was Jake Gyllenhaal? But there was another one where there was like an Egyptian. Oh, bro, what about when Matt Damon goes to like China to be the last samurai or something like that? And I'm like, come on, bro. Let's put an Asian dude in there. I just, come on. So you see with that. I mean, also, I think, maybe people have different opinions. I think it's just, if it's queer folk too, maybe it should be queer folk playing those roles instead of a cisgendered individual, right? A straight individual playing that role. It makes more sense. Because there's nuances to it. There's certain things that people won't know without a therapist or a coach or an autistic advocate that's there, right? It's still very nuanced. So I believe in that, like Spence said. I think that'll show a lot more true representation. The question is, how many actors are there out there that are out?
Yeah.
I think there's a shit ton of actors that are autistic. One of the most recent, more famous ones is Homegirl from The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was the most. Yeah, what was her name again, Spence? Is it Bella Ramsey? Or is that, I'm thinking
Bella Ramsey. I think, Bella Ramsey.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of the more recent ones. And then there's a bunch of other folks that are famous too. Anthony Hopkins is probably one of the most famous. I mean, he's one of the best actors in history, let alone most best autistic actor. I think for the question for me though is I think it's extremely difficult no matter what to show it all in one movie. To do what Spencer said is to show a wide range and a diaspora of autism or, not just neurodiversity. I'm going to get away from that word now. So we're going to focus on autism because neurodiversity, neurodivergent is encompassing a lot. You could have multiple actors or actresses in there, right? Individuals in there that are autistic or have different experiences. You could show people at different age ranges, kind of like, Sheldon Cooper in Big Bang Theory, and then young Sheldon, right? It's a different nuance in both. It's extremely difficult. Quincy, I think the more you get into this podcasting stuff and the social media stuff, you're going to realize that, someone hates you all the time. Someone will always disagree with you. Someone will always be angry at you. Someone will think that you're just trying to represent all people. And it's like, I'm not. I'm really not. This movie portrays one version or facet of autism. A lot of verbal issues, some deregulation issues, not the best interpersonal skills. He looks like someone that probably has a higher needs than a low support needs individual like me or Spence. But he's so gifted that he's able to move throughout this show and he's surgeon and all this stuff, right? His giftedness allows him to do it. We'll get into it later in the scene, but so a lot of people don't like his version. I truly thought it's fantastic because I see him in a lot of individuals with like moderate to high support needs. Like people get mad at the trope of like autism being like the savants or the, Bill Gates, Elon Musk type vibe. Right. Because it's, there's a lot of us that are in the middle. Most of us are in the middle. Then of course you got your folks with intellectual disabilities and all this other stuff. Right. And how do you get them into the movies or film or cinema? Right. As RFK has said, autism is like destroying America and this and that. And like the people are suffering and all this shit. I'm like, okay, so sometimes autism is very tough on that person and the family. But to say like it's destroying these families and all this, in some cases, it's very difficult. Could it destroy families? Maybe, but he was making it seem like we're all shit.
Right.
Wide range. I joke with Spence and we joke all the time. You got your Lego eating autistics, you got your chicken nuggets, you got your verbal stems. Yeah, because you saw even the Good Doctor with a couple of verbal stems as well too. You got your arts and craft ones, your girly ones, your femme ones, your masculine ones. You've got your athletes. Like I used to love saying this guy, but now I kind of hate him. Or Spence might need to get your thoughts, but Kawhi Leonard definitely autistic. But now he's kind of like getting his money in bad ways. We haven't even talked about that yet.
I mean, look,
It is what it is.
We're gonna pause, but hey, let's talk about Kawhi Leonard, right? Sorry, Quincy, we're taking over.
We're taking a little
Basketball.
pivot.
We're taking a little pivot here. We're taking it, but for me, I think that when it comes to athletes, especially those, a lot of athletes, especially those who are Black athletes, have been um, have been misunderstood / have been treated like shit, right? And that goes for people of color everywhere, right? Just that's how it is.
I agree.
But and for me, I'm not mad at Kawhi for trying to get his money and trying to get his stuff, because guess what? Everybody else is, so why not him? I'm not mad at him for that. I'd be mad more at Steve Ballmer, who did it, because he is way more complicit and he's actually agreeing to give that money to him and all that stuff. So I'm not mad at Kawhi Leonard for trying to, mess with the system, because that's how the system is. The system is all about trying to hustle and get your way ahead and trying to get the most out of what you can for as much money as you can. And so for me and the Kawhi Leonard stuff, I'm like, hey, it is what it is. Because guess what? How many owners have fucked over athletes, and they've given everything to the team, they've given everything to the sport, and yet they have nothing now, because after they're like retired and stuff like that. He's providing for his family. That's why he moved to LA in the first place, because all of his family's from there anyways.
Yeah.
So for me, I say, hey, you know what? He's taking part of the system, and he's just doing what he's supposed to be doing now as an athlete, especially since the NBA is run by the players now. So get your money, Kawhi. I like you.
I'm cool with him, because he's hustling. If it was an NIL deal, which it technically was, a fraudulent NIL deal, my thing I started thinking about is his autistic ass. He's not diagnosed. It's very obvious that he is. I'm wondering if his uncle, was doing this shit behind his back, and did Kawhi actually know, or did he not know? I would assume he did, but who knows, right? I'm wondering if he was getting manipulated and hustled himself.
But either way, then I feel like then, especially with that, then it's like, how can I blame him when it's other people too doing this shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and maybe his uncle was hustling for him on his behalf. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that probably needs to come out for this, a lot of details, especially for it. But at the same time, I still blame the owners, and I blame the people that are like just part of that company trying to, flow money through like it's a fucking it's a drug kingpin or some
I know,
shit.
it was wild. 28 million's wild. So the reason why I brought up Kawhi, Quincy, is because there's a lot of athletes that are autistic that just don't know it. Why? Because their interpersonal skills are really good, right? They're not like the good doctor Shaun, right? They're very much fluid. They can talk. They're charismatic, blah blah blah. And then you got some like Kawhi that maybe not the best. And you got some like Bill Belichick, Nick Saban. You got folks like, in my opinion, Rondo, Ray Allen, that got the OCD and some other stuff, but they're interesting individuals. Not saying that Ray Allen is. Rondo definitely is. There ain't no way he ain't autistic, brother.
You learn every play ever.
Every play ever. It's just wild.
Yeah.
And then you just see it in these athletes, dude. I deal with these athletes all the time at higher ed, and you see the nuances of what autism is. And so I think a lot of people are super surprised what it is, and that they have it, or that their children have it. And Quincy, they sit with us in the office, or they sit with us on this podcast, Quincy, and they end up getting diagnosed with autism. Because I'm like, hey, you should probably look into this. Hey, I'm going to send you some screeners. Like, we've actually had therapists actually thank us for saving their lives and changing their lives, because we've opened them up to this new thing. So how could it be better, Quincy? Very difficult. Spencer, everything was perfect on what he said. I think that was the right way. I think what I said was good too. And also it's extremely difficult because it's so different. It's going to take multiple shows. The new statistics, whether you believe it or not, because I know these guys are full of shit. Sorry, Quincy, if you like these guys. But Robert Kennedy, full of shit. But they recently did some statistics, him and the Trump administration, right? They're saying that the real numbers in autism looks more to be like 1 in 20 instead of 1 in 33. And they're saying maybe, it's like, I can't remember if they said 1 in 10 boys. I feel like they said 1 in 4 boys is going to be diagnosed autistic now. I'm like, okay, that feels a little wild. 1 in 4. Supposedly we get it from fucking Tylenol too, Obviously that's sarcasm. That's not how people get autism. I'm not that was even the wrong word choice by me. But it's going to be more prevalent, Quincy. So I think we're going to see more and more representation because there's going to be less stigma because people aren't as stigmatized about autism as they used to be. So the more we learn, the more we grow, the more compassionate we get, the better we're getting with therapies, modalities, medication, right? We're able to be more in the population and now we don't have to carry the shame. I would have never said, young man, that I was autistic before. Never. Now in 2021, 2022, now that I'm doing my own business, every talk I do on a college campus, anywhere I go, hey, I'm autistic and ADHD, and I'm going to kind of be stimming and rocking on stage, and I'm probably not going to make the most eye contact, and I'm probably going to be looking out the fucking window. Spence, I don't think he's really seen me present too many times, but I'm kind of up there doing my thing. And people are like, the fuck is he doing? Is he doing crowd work? But our population is able to do this more now. And so I think we'll see more in television. Does that make sense, Quincy?
No, it does. I love how you tackled on like that, just with media in general, like how it's not just one representation. It's like different. And like, I feel like shows like Big Bang Theory, Good Doctor, like they resonate with different audiences, differently because, it's not like a one size fits all type of thing. It's I love how like, autism is, it mirrors in different ways. And I also love how you talked about, and this is what I'm planning to also talk about in my episode later about like, legislation and policies. So like with like RFK and what like the harmful things that the RFK has said, and like a lot of other like, people have said about like, and like also the funding too, that goes into it and how that's being shut off. So like I love how you brought that point up and like are segueing into that. So like yeah. Another question I have is just what are like, and I think we may have touched upon this, or you guys may have touched upon this, but what are some of the most harmful or limiting stereotypes about autism you've observed in the media?
That's a good question.
This is a good one and a fun one. This might get a little derogatory though, so trigger warning for folks.
True. Now I can't think of. Actually no. I should probably say one that I really know of is like Rain Man. That would probably be a big one. With Dustin Hoffman. That one mainly because you're playing with something where it's like you seem like you have another thing like Down syndrome or something like that. And unfortunately, when it comes to that, especially back then, I mean, this is an older film, so it's kind of hard. They didn't have the best representation back then. But when it comes to just those stereotypes of thinking like, oh, so that means you can't take care of yourself, you can't, you're dumb, you're an idiot, even though in Rain Man he's very smart, but comes off as very just antisocial and just just very heavily stereotyped as being something like that. And unfortunately, when it comes to that, they think like people with autism, they're just like big kids, and which is not the case. There's a lot of grown adults who just have lived their own lives with those who have autism. And so I think that's one stereotype or version that you don't see as much anymore, but I think for some people it's still prevalent, and I think it's still in their mind that some people just can't take care of themselves if they're autistic, and which is just not true at all.
I think obviously Spence's version of what autism looks like definitely have changed for me and for you. Like when we've met each other,
Yeah.
I didn't fucking identify as autistic when we first met each other back in college.
No.
At St. Mary's. And then, slowly and surely we get to talking, blah, blah, blah. Pandemic happens, podcast happens. I do more introspection. I'm like, holy shit, I'm autistic.
What am I? Autistic.
Yeah, facts. So, young man, we've been learning a lot too, man. It's just you learn. And so I think growing up, I never really thought about it, but I think growing up, I thought autism meant disabled. I think that is the term I would say it is. It means disabled. I'm going to say something. I feel like most people think that autism means that you're retarded. And that's what people are going to think in their mind. Doesn't matter what they smile to you or tell you. When you say autistic, some people are going to see it as cognitively slowed in some way or handicapped in some way. And a lot of us are. Don't get it twisted. Even my ass is disabled in some ways. many ways, but not severely disabled where it hampers a lot of my daily functioning. I'm able to, navigate my shit on good days. So I think that's the biggest thing is people always want to tie intellectual disabilities with autism. I think people always want to tie in autism with aggressive stimming. That's a big one too. They think you're going to be aggressively stimming.
I think OCD too. I think a lot of people mix OCD and autism in the same thing. When, like, don't get me wrong, I mean, they can go with one another, but that doesn't mean that everybody who has autism has OCD or anything like that. That's just not how it works. I mean, look at like the accountant, right? Like,
Yeah.
like, he has OCD, but he's also autistic, and he has two different things. And those don't really, although they seem like they blend together, it's just not true.
Yeah. So that people will think one is the other, or you can't have
Yeah.
autism without OCD.
Right.
There's going to be hyperfixations. Yes. There'll be a lot of like spirals that people will go down, right? Because of the interest or the flow that they're in. They might play video games till 6 a.m., like my client just told me. And it could be obsessive, but there might not also be that compulsion, but maybe there is. OCD does overlap quite a lot, right? And I think some of the statistics, this is definitely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was like above 30 to, I think it was like 30, 50%. I think it was closer to 50. I know it was between 30 and 50. I know ADHD was fucking way up there in like 60 to 70. Anxiety was like 70%. Intellectual stuff was, I think, in the 30 range. Unemployment was like in the 70% range. It's been a while since I've refreshed myself with the data. But some of the biggest myths are that person will never work. Spencer was kind of talking about it. Not fully true. I'm going to let you know, Quincy, a lot of my parents I work with, I work with the children. The parents will hold a lot of the myths. My child will never be happy. My child will never marry. My child will never maintain a job. My child will never drive. My child may never have friends. I'm like, motherfucker, they got friends right now. I'm confused in the myth that your child will never have friends because it looked like they got friends.
Right.
I remember a mom talked to me a couple of years ago at the university. I told the kid, I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're autistic. He's like, you think? I'm like, do these screeners, bro. Let's keep talking about it. I'm like, he's very autistic, bro. This is very evident. Boy was so awesome, dude. But he was getting into fights at frats.
Mm.
And he liked to drink because it made him feel normal and he could talk. But he was getting fights at frats because they were bullying and hazing other kids. So he's like, this is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You get that whole I'm a surgeon vibe. And then he crashed out and fucking pushed the other kid away to protect the kid. And the next thing you know, 3 kids beating his ass. So it happened a couple times. And I'm like, hey, brother, we got to stop it. And we end up getting that boy kicked out of school. Not my boy, the other boy. Side's boy.
Right.
The mom's like, I don't think he's ever going to be happy. I'm like, literally, he's happy right now. Literally.
It's also kind of seeing like what happiness is to people who are autistic and stuff like that. It like you may not be able to show it sometimes when you're happy, nervous, angry, stuff like that. But you are like you have these and I think that they're so used to the traditional way of how things go for kids or how they're supposed to look and how they're supposed to be that they get lost in the fact like maybe you should just try to hang out with your kid for a while and just get on there, like get empathy, right? Empathy is a big word that also goes a long way for those who maybe be on the spectrum, maybe those who are autistic. It's just have empathy, put yourself in their shoes for a little bit and just say like, okay. And maybe even ask them like, are you happy? Are you happy? And they're like, yeah, I am. I'm like, okay, great. Move on. But yeah.
Dude, we do this thing with like babies all the time where they call it like ground time or playtime or some shit when they're like children. I think it's called floor time, where they get on the floor and they play with the kids. At a certain age, a lot of adults stop doing that. And so when I'm talking to children and I'm like, and the parents over the last couple of years, but specifically now, when's the last time you let your kids just info dump on their special interest? That's love. You want them to come around you? You know how many fucking info dumps I listen to, Spence, on a daily basis? It's a lot. The shit that I have knowledge of is intense. And sometimes it's shit like, I ain't even gonna lie. This kid recently just showed me like their favorite thing, and I'm like, I'm about to throw up. I hate bugs. I hate bugs.
Oh,
It was a
yeah,
bug
that's fair.
collection. I was like, this is not fun for me.
Yeah.
But the myth is maybe they don't have emotions as well. That's a big myth. Or maybe they lack empathy. That's a big myth. Some people are low on the empathy scale, right? And they have to be more cognitive, Quincy. We talked about that. I've gotten harassed online for, trying to advocate for people that were not empty souls. And then people are like, but we are. I'm like, God damn it.
I'm an empty shell. Like,
all right, man. People are like, don't erase me. I'm like, brother, I'm so sorry. I did not apologize. I'm sorry. I did apologize. I was not trying to erase you. But sometimes our words do. The empathy thing is a big thing. I think the biggest thing, man, is just people just think that we're disabled, completely disabled. The myth is for me, well, now as you talk well and you're friendly and you're sociable. I'm like, most of this shit's an act, G. I don't even talk.
It's a mask, son.
Yeah. Here's a good one that one of our really famous guests joined us. Rebecca Bond or Rebecca Bond or some shit like Rebecca Bond. I don't know. It's the actress lady with the gothy kind of look and shit like that.
Right.
She's like, Nas, we did the account with her. She's like, Nas, we all mask. We all think our mask is better than what it actually is. I'm like, yep. Yep. There's so many different myths, Quincy. It's wild. Obviously, the vaccine and the Tylenol myth fucks a lot of people up. The old myth is that autism was caused by neglectful, depressed, mean mothers. That was the myth for a long time, that autism was caused by women. So a lot of this propaganda about the Tylenol and all this shit, it's most of it is to hurt women and to grade women. So that's an old, horrible myth. People used to think autism was like schizophrenia. They used to lock people up in institutions because of this shit.
To be fair, if like you weren't quote unquote normal, they throw your ass in like the padded cell real quick. They're just like, oh, you're postpartum. Get your ass in there. Like it's messed up.
You black
that's
too?
how it was.
Shit.
I know you're crazy. Let's go.
And that leads to a better discussion, which we're not going to get into because I'm going to kick it back to Quincy. But a lot of the homeless population or unhoused population, a lot of folks severe mental health issues. A lot of them aren't able to maintain jobs because of bipolar schizophrenia, but a good amount of them are going to be neurodivergent.
20%, I think, are veterans. I think
a lot of veterans. There's going to be a lot of autism in there, a lot of trauma in there. And they're saying now 60% of folks that are in these prisons, jails, severe mental health issues. The largest psychiatric institution we have now in America is prison. It's fucked up because we stopped funding everything.
Well, change the padded cells for just bars.
Yes. There's a lot of hustling in that too as well. That's why we do that.
13th Amendment.
100%. There's a lot of racism in that as well too. So
anyhow.
Yeah, little sidetracked. Quincy, what else you got for us, brother? Or did you like those explanations, or do you have deeper questions on that?
Yeah.
Oh no, I actually like those explanations. I just want to like have like a couple more questions, but like literally, you guys answered like half of them. Because like the way like it like kind of like the conversation ended, I was like, oh, like that's a question there. So yeah,
dude, it's whatever you got. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, do your thing, man.
So I love how you guys were talking about the different, in my previous question, how I was talking about the different representations in autism. And I feel like, at least from the media I've consumed, like you said, like not feeling comfortable within your own skin, or either to the point where like you're like stigmatized. And I want to ask you guys, like, why do so many depictions fall under like the binary of like burden or genius or stigmatization?
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even know why. I don't even know why. I think it. Yeah, I don't know. Spence, maybe you go. Give me a second.
I mean, why there's just I would say because in history we've seen so many people who were geniuses actually do have autism. I mean, like Albert Einstein, for example, that dude definitely was autistic. Even
what's the evolution guy? Who created evolution? Not created. Who discovered
he created evolution?
Darwin.
Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
Definitely tons of documentation showing he was
Darwin.
autistic.
even oh my god,
Isaac
I'm forgetting.
Newton.
I'm blanking on his name. No. The guy who made the atomic bomb. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. I was actually reading his biography. That dude loved collecting rocks, bugs, and all this different. And he just liked being out in the wilderness, in the desert in New Mexico. Like, and that's why they picked where they picked for the nuclear sites, because he used to just camp out there all the time, and came from like a wealthy family, stuff like that, yada yada yada. But like even him, like he's such a genius mind in nuclear physicist, and he was autistic. He was an odd person. And so the so-called outcasts and these people that are like loners, but they're so smart and they're so amazing, like they brought so much to society that we think like, okay, this is probably why we pick these people to be like the ones. Like they're like, okay, these are the geniuses, because we've seen so many in history, especially in America. We've just seen a history of all these different amazingly intelligent people that were probably autistic,
Or actually
just come to,
diagnosed autistic. Yeah.
yeah, they could have been. But and I would say that, and then you know I feel like it also, when it comes to media, it's a lot, like it's a lot more dramatic to see somebody who's like either like a brilliantly smart but he's an outcast, or like somebody who is like say homeless or something like that, and then you find like this genius in them or something like that. Like it's a better story, right? And that's what a lot of this is just storytelling. Now some of it can be relatable and part of real life, but there are also parts of these film stuff you're just like, this might be just because they wanted something a little bit more,
I see.
because yeah, spicy, and then to have an outcast and then become something way beyond than what they thought they could be, that's like fucking like the American dream, right? Isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah. So this helped me figure out. I think, Quincy, the question was is why do we see this? The polarization. A lot of people in the middle forgotten. So let's take Instagram, TikTok. Let's take all these motherfuckers these days. They usually come into prominence because they're outlandish outtakes. They're very in your face. They're very just in it. Very extreme polarization. Never in history, usually in any of these media things or just in history in general, do the moderate people get that much attention. It's usually a lot of the polarized things. So with autism, it's bing, bang, boom, way up here. Look at this, bright and shiny. This is awesome. We can talk about this. We can use this. They worked at NASA. They worked at this. They're in mathematics. They got a PhD. They're changing the world. And then you got your other end where they're completely disabled, probably rely on their parents. Maybe they're institutionalized for something. Maybe they're in a psychiatric facility. Maybe they can't talk. Maybe they can't, take care of themselves, eat, feed themselves, right? There's a lot. So both autistic, but that's the one that gets the most attention is the severely disabled and the families there in which are navigating that. And then you got the other savants that he's talking about. He wants to talk about someone like me and Spence and Quincy. Like, who? That's not. I mean, there's a lot of cool shit, I guess, in our stories, but like, we're not. I mean, they're like, "Oh, look, Nas got beat again." God damn it! I wish I wouldn't have said that. Yeah, I went right for the trauma wound.
I mean, also, I will piggyback off that a little
Yeah.
bit. Is just that I think they show, like, they don't show the hardship of the other side that much, of the people that need help. They don't show that as much. Like if you do look at like Love on the Spectrum or something like that,
Yeah.
they show people that are very functional. Yeah, they have like help with like parents and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but they also don't show like the really bad times with that could come. And and sometimes because they just don't want to portray that. And unfortunately, I think it's not just realistic, right? I think that you're painting a picture of what autism looks like, and it doesn't always look like that. It's not always geniuses. It's not always like just people who are struggling either. Like you said, I mean, it's in the middle, and that's not great storytelling sometimes. It's just having those people in the
Never.
middle like us. And sometimes we also aren't the loudest people. We just want to stay in our lane and get through life. And while other people just want to make a huge like parade out of everything, and you're like, I don't want to do all that shit.
No.
I'm
Most of my
tired.
clients
I
don't
do
even
that.
want to be perceived, my guy. They don't even want to be perceived by other humans, most of my clients.
Yeah.
But like Love on the Spectrum, I think the majority of them are, you know, moderate-ish needs, right? But they really don't show any of the like the badder stuff, like the full meltdowns. And probably that I wouldn't want to maybe show my kid having a full meltdown, even though some of them are very close, just for respect and privacy. But also sometimes you watch it and you're kind of like, ugh, gross. Like I actually love watching Love on the Spectrum because I love those people.
Right.
But I don't know what other people are thinking when they're watching it. I don't know how they're infantilizing it or judging that or thinking like, oh, look at this disability porn shit. I'm looking at it like, look at these happy motherfuckers. I'm looking at it like my versions of myself and my family. So I think you see the polarization in media because of how fucked up it is, whether good or bad. I'm going to top something here for you, brother Quincy. You're not going to see a lot of dudes like look like you that are on social media that are black or that are brown, because social media is mostly filled with like a lot of white women that are autistic, and then the ones that get all the clicks and blah blah blah. That, you know, that's the vibe. But is a couple cool, awesome content creators that are black and that are brown, that are autistic or ADHD and autistic, right? That is starting to become a bigger thing now. Really great creators. It's just hard for us. I don't know why to get out there. I don't know if it's the algorithm. I don't know if, like, you know, just ain't pretty enough, motherfucker, aesthetic enough. Like, I don't know. Me and Spence really aren't outlandish about a lot of shit. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not doing that. That's not my vibe. I'm not going to pervert myself to get more clicks.
No, just feel icky. You feel icky about it, you know?
Moral
just
injury.
like,
no.
Yeah, just feels gross. So like, don't get me wrong, we put on our masks and stuff like that, but like to do it to the point where it just feels like you're selling yourself and just for content, like, it's just it's nasty.
Do you, honey? Good. But like, that's not us. And by honey, I'm not just talking about women. There's a lot of dudes that are doing this shit too.
No, so many.
Spence. Quincy, we're gonna take a quick pivot. It's very quick.
No pivot.
You see this motherfucker that DM'd us like, hey man, want to get on your podcast and like all this and that, and he was wearing Trump hats and he's 0 for 2 and yeah, it was like he beat 2 women. I'm like, you think you coming on our podcast talking this shit about how he beating 2 women, this and that? I'm like, you know, brother, no. Quincy,
I just don't think they see the vibe.
Brother, we probably get 10 invites a day. 10 invites a day. People wanting to come on, people selling us on this shit, that shit. And yours felt real. You might have had AI write it. I don't really know, but yours felt real. And I decided to have you on because you're a real person.
I appreciate that.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, I'm like, okay, this motherfucker autistic maybe. I'm like, I don't know, but like this a person. Like, I'm gonna have him on. Hopefully this motherfucker can talk. Well, I don't know. I'm taking a shot on you now, Quincy. That's what I was thinking. And then me and Spence are down to have real people on, but we're not gonna let people just come on here and just hawk their shit.
I also heard your voice on your podcast, and I was like, I don't want that dude on because he has a good voice. Got a good voice for podcasting. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Stop flirting with him.
Oh, Quincy. What are you doing later?
Watching football, motherfucker. What do you mean?
Same here. We can watch it together.
You got some chicken nuggets? Bruh.
That's all I got, son.
Some of my clients, it's not a joke, brother. I'm like, you gotta eat some vegetables, motherfucker.
Yeah, some people really like that.
Bro,
really like that.
My niece is wild, my guy. Trying to get her to eat a Spence. Tell me why this little autistic girl. We went and go to the buffet, right? And I was like, hey, let's start a little salad.
What is it called?
Buffet. And she gets a salad, no dressing. I let her do it, no dressing. I'm like, why you ain't put no dressing on it? Because I don't like it to be all like squishy and textury. I said that. So texture fucks you up with the vegetables. I said, that sounds pretty autistic to me. She said, no, it's not. I just don't like the texture. Okay.
I like chewing on dirty leaves.
What that bitch?
So it is. It's just dirty leaves. There's no condoms on it. It's like it's a dirty leaf. That's all it is.
Bruh. Someone tried to pitch us the other day
Condiments.
about coming on the podcast because they were trying to always sell like vegan shit or some probiotics or like, I don't know, this all natural diet. I'm like, I love it, kid, but also you're on the wrong fat guy podcast trying to sell that stuff.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got like cakes, or something, well,
Cakes and pies?
we'll have you on.
Cakes and pies.
If somebody from a bakery wanted to be on our show, I'd be like, yes, be on, please.
Yeah.
Send me some.
Leaves? Bitch, how much ranch you got on that shit?
Hey, I'd rather have drenched in ranch than plain old fucking dirty from the straight from the fields and shit. So fuck.
Who's picking
straight
this
from
shit?
the fields, son? You already know who.
My people.
Not anymore.
Damn, they deported them.
Damn, it got real, son.
That's fucked up.
That's
I hate
joke.
this fucking
You're about to
country,
make a
bro.
black joke. Fuck you.
No, I was about to make a Mexican joke.
No, you weren't.
I said my people doing it now.
Lies. No one knows what you are.
The immigrants took your jobs.
Damn. Well.
All right. Last pivot.
Evolution. Anywho, sorry.
No, I got it. Well, there might be more pivots, Quincy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be more. Quincy, just so you know.
Someone said you was worried about the immigrants taking your jobs. Bitch, AI took your job. Now what? And I was like, yeah,
you right.
Yeah,
you right.
Right, because right, we're taking some of these hard jobs that no one wants. No, right, all these techie middle class motherfuckers, right? They're the ones getting this shit took.
That's true. That's very true.
I said, yeah, you keep blaming the immigrants. You should blame motherfucking capitalism. That took your shit.
Everybody's losing jobs right now.
Bro,
the
job
whites, the
market's wild,
Mexicans,
bro.
everybody.
It's wild right now. It's so wild. All
Okay.
right, Quincy. We took a hell of a pivot. I'm
Anywho.
sorry. What's up, dude?
Yeah.
What else you got for us, brother?
You're up, Quincy.
Yeah, it was just but my last thing really was, so how do you think media portrayals influence the public's perception of conditions like autism or ADHD?
It's a little bit kind of like what you talked about a second ago. I'll let Spence go because the question's kind of similar. I'm going to go in a political government way. Spence, you can go your way.
Okay, cool.
I would just have to say, I mean, I think we're at the point now where it's not going to be as negative as it once was.
Yep.
Maybe like 20, even 10 years ago, maybe even because autism is such a has grown into like this huge thing that everybody is really started to look at and really relate to, which is always interesting. But it used to be like autism was just like you were this loner outcast that you would probably do some fucked up shit at some point. I'm not gonna give into specifically what, but get to some fucked up shit. And so I think from now we actually see a lot more communities come together and be like, oh, I'm that too. And I think with the media, I think a lot of people relate to that media, and there are so many characters out there. We talk about the Good Doctor, but I mean, look at like just Dexter, right? Let's look at Dexter. Great representation, even though he's technically not autistic, but he masks all the time. Yeah, mannerisms, masks. He's always trying to be perceived a certain way whenever he goes into his job. He brings in donuts so that he can blend in with everybody else. Now, yes, he's doing that because he's also like a serial killer.
Yeah, it was never proven in court, so it's innocent until guilty, Spence. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
James Stokes is the Harbor Butcher.
Yeah, James Stokes, Harbor Butcher, right? Of course, it was the black guy.
Blame the
it
black
couldn't have been the white guy.
Yep. Then they burnt his ass to a crisp. They literally burnt his ass to a crisp.
He motherfucking Popeye's
they would have done
chicken.
a fried chicken joke. See, went for the same joke. What? Extra crispy.
Black.
Isn't it weird that they were just like, "Yep, that's his body shape." You're like, "Damn, he was." I know that shape anywhere. Believe me. All right, I know that burnt up crisp ass fucking body shape. But in that way, a lot of people love that character because they can relate to it in the sense that we're all just trying to be part of society and put that mask on, just like everybody else. And yeah, there's like that, that killer shit. But at the same time, it's the same point. we're all just trying to fit in and be one. And a lot of people, once they go with that character, then all of a sudden they're part of this community. Oh, we all love Dexter. We all love Abed from the Community. We all love the Good Doctor. All of a sudden, these communities start coming together, and then they start saying like, "Oh wow, I'm just like that person." That means that you're like me, I'm like you, and this thing just keeps on growing and growing and growing. And now it's to a point where like most people are going to be autistic. Like a large amount of people are autistic. And I think it just goes to show that media, although it can hurt you, it can also help you in finding these different communities. And also, I mean, we can also relate it back to just like seeing black people in media, right? Like all of a sudden we start seeing like, say, even for like, well, it's just Black Panther. It's the like one of the best ones that you can pick. Like this movie brought together so many people. And it showed just such a positive light on black people in general that now they just try to like kind of beat it down to be like, man, that movie was ass, whatever, and it wasn't shit. Like this motherfucking movie brought together so many people, and it was just such a great unifying moment just seeing a black superhero that it encourages other people and even little kids to be like, hey, I can do that one day, and you can do anything through there. So it's a positive note as well as there's some negativities, but I think overall, especially nowadays, we see a lot more positive than negative, in my opinion. So
there's so many characters that are autistic that are diagnosed. So many that aren't diagnosed, though. We talked about Homeboy from One Piece. We did a podcast on. We do it all the time.
Luffy,
whether it be Big Bang Theory and Atypical, those are the ones that stick out. But there's a lot of other ones. So if you watch Dexter, yes. Spence, have you seen the new season of Dexter?
Resurrection, yeah,
So,
it's really good.
It's really good.
I like it.
The detective is the most autistic motherfucker I've ever seen. So I want to do a podcast on her. Specifically.
Oh yeah, she is especially. Like, she wears headphones.
Yep.
To see the scene and plays the same song over.
Have you seen the last episode or no? The last.
No, I haven't yet.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Don't you?
But yeah, there's a hell of a stem that comes in. You're gonna be like, yeah, girl, yeah.
I fucking stem it.
Yep. So I want to do a pod on her soon with someone. There's so many characters, my guy. It's wild. There's so many people out there that are like hidden in the shadows. I just talked about in the last podcast. This will release the first week of November, Quincy. So it's got a ways to come out because we're very far ahead now. But I just started this autism support group. I've been doing them for years, but this is my private practice now because I quit the university. Now I'm at the private practice, and I got one for my PhD students, and it's all neurodivergent individuals. I'm gonna do my best not to start crying here. So the percentage of black people that have PhD Spencers is like, people in America with a PhD is right around 2%, 1% in America. Mm-hmm. In the entire world, of that 1 to 2%, that 2%, right? It's less than 1% are black. So 1% of 1%. I have 5 of them in my group.
Nice.
Motherfucker, you have no idea how easy and how awesome it is to wake up on Saturday morning to see their faces. Pretty awesome. And then Sundays I get to wake up with all these girlies and a women's group. My big dumb ass is running a women's group. And all of them were diagnosed with autism when they met me over the last 4 years.
Right.
I was shit on horrifically, Spencer, about diagnosing them with autism because they can't fully do it because you need neuropsychological testing from a neuropsychologist. And doctors all told me I was crazy, this and that. My other counselors, they shit on me, right? And I sent them to go get testing. Boom, 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 boom. All I'm diagnosed autistic and ADHD. And I'm sending them to like a legit place here, right, to get tested. Costs a shit ton of money in town. Like, yeah, that's what I thought. So now they're all in my group. And I get to introduce all these kids to each other that are magnificent, awesome humans, but very fucking anxious in their own ways. Traumatized in their own ways. Why did I bring this up in media? The question you asked. We're starting to see autism in a different way. When women will start being diagnosed, more people and children will start getting diagnosed. Earlier interventions to help our people, our populations out. Many more Black and brown people will be diagnosed in the coming years instead of just calling us disabled. I wanted to use the R word there. Or violent or aggressive or just purely ADHD like they labeled me. I was autistic as shit in school. Motherfuckers literally locked me in a closet for like a year at one time. And then I got put in behavior modification school. So my behavior would be better. I was depressed as fuck, ADHD. My dad's gone, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, a lot more of us will be diagnosed. It's going to save a lot of lives, dude. So the media is going to get better, like Spencer said, and it's going to save even more lives. Why? Representation matters. When you see someone who's autistic and that says it in a big meeting with 300 people the other day, 350 people, and then again with another 150 people that are in the military, when I say it, people are like, oh shit, that motherfucker's autistic? Oh, okay. So maybe autism is different than what I thought it was. Maybe it's not the kid eating fucking Legos and like at home. Maybe it's not just the savants. Maybe it is more nuanced than what we thought. And the more people like me unmask and Spencer and Quincy unmask when safe, I'm safe to do it now anywhere and everywhere. It's fantastic. It helps heal humans, especially when we look at how many queer identities we have in our population as well, too. What I am scared of is what's going to happen over the next 3+ years in media. Because of the way the government is moving, the funding in Quincy, which you said they're stripping from a lot of scientific research. You don't even know how much money they're stripping, my guy. I work with some of the top scientists in America. They're all losing funding everywhere. It's all being pulled. Everything for the electronics, the crops, all of it, environmental stuff, it's all being stripped. All of it has been gutted. Sad, very scary what's happening to all these individuals that are very autistic that are working these jobs. What do they do now? So many of my babies can't find jobs. We're wasting the best minds in America. Why? Because we're going to pull this shit for vaccines and cancer research and all that shit. What are we doing? Robert Kennedy is fucking up so many things. Donald Trump is fucking up so many things for so many people. It's going to cause millions of lives. It's at least going to delay the research. These scientists, I'm not trying to blow my own horn. I'm not the scientist. These kids I work for, right, they're going to get these jobs. They said, Nas, they've been consulted. I've talked to people higher up to me, their industry. They said this economic shit that's fucking over science right now, it's going to last anywhere from 4 to 8 years. So another 4 years, probably 8 years until the recovery's back in the science field, until the funding's back in the science field. This isn't like money that we're wasting in America. This is actual real science. A lot of it, my kids work in like crops and food and industry protections and all this shit, right? You know, that goes in our food, GMOs. Some of them are doing weed research. Some of them are satellites. Depends. Spence, this shit is wild. On how much I've had kids that were going to NASA lose their scholarships. Black individuals going to NASA. Money just stolen. How? So this is going to set back autism related stuff too. With the rhetoric that's out there, it's going to set back autism as well too. Thankfully, autism started getting funding in 2009 with a specific act. I forgot what it was. And then it was re-updated in 2019. And then it just got re-updated again for more funding before Trump took office. That was a huge thing. Millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. I don't know if it's still active. I don't know if they still plan on helping research. And I think the research is going to go in a bad way, Quincy. I really do. I think the research is going to go on a cure solution thing. I'm not trying to spread propaganda right now, but I don't think it's going to diagnose, treat, and affirm individuals. I think it's going to go to witch hunting in certain directions. So we'll see. I don't want to fearmonger. But media could be weird. But what we know is a lot more of us lives will be saved by having podcasts like this, by having Black and brown content creators like me, you, and Spence. This is how we save lives, homie. By making sure we have your ass on the pod. Go ahead. What'd you say?
No. I really love that you talked about that point because, like, even, for me as, a person of color, especially who is on the spectrum, and who's ADHD, like I feel like, unsure, especially within education too. And, a lot of like I have a lot of my friends, who are going to adolescent education who are going to be teachers and like,
Oh yeah.
they're worried about that aspect too of, teaching, neurodiverse, children and like also too, like you were saying, like the funding and it's gonna set it way back. And, also the rhetoric behind it too. And that is coming from like people with like that, some to which we hold with high regard. It's just like really crazy. And yeah, this whole administration right now is just really crazy. But it's just like it's just really sad, and I'm
Yeah.
worried for myself on that front. So
Okay.
Best advice I can give you and your homies is continue to do what you need to do. Focus on you for now and leave some of this other stuff to folks that, have more abilities to do some things, but do your advocacy, spread awareness, do what you got to do, but also you got school to go to, you got shit to do. So focus on the process of getting to where you need to go, getting to where you need to go. So stay focused on that. The world is going to terrify you sometimes if you look too far ahead or if you poke your eyes up too much and look at too much. The world's terrifying. So I said a lot of scary stuff. Stay focused and do what you need to do today so where you can be the man or the person you are tomorrow, which is a person that's advocating and helping out other individuals. Where your friends are teaching, right, these kids that are autistic, neurodivergent. If you can fight, sign signatures, you can do protests here and there, you can advocate for more money or more accommodating services for folks like you at your school or the elementaries or the high schools in which they work at, right? You can fight for those things more to make sure people show up as it is their right through the Disability Act, which I'm sure a lot of people hate who are in power right now. Doing my best not to mention certain names because I don't want us to get like canceled or struck down about things. But
Yeah, whatever.
yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of people that hate disabled people, specifically Black or brown disabled people.
Mhm.
But yeah, do your best not to get too lost in the sauce, Quincy. Tell your friends that too. When I get too lost in the sauce, brother, it's too much. And I can't control any of it. So then I just fucking lose my mind, and I don't want folks doing that either. But it is sad.
thank you. And that's pretty much all the questions that I had. But yeah, I really appreciate it, answering them.
Can me
Great
and Spence
questions,
shoot
man.
you a couple questions?
Yeah, we can do that.
How the hell did you come across this? You just like, it just popped up? Or was it a sponsored ad? Or you like, there's a good looking brown man. Spencer, there's a good looking man.
Let me get some of that.
Yeah, he got the sugars. How'd you come across
Give me
this?
some. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, dude. We can't hear you.
I think your audio went out. No, I think your audio is a little low.
Or maybe your
What
headphones
happened?
went out?
Maybe. That could be
Hear
it.
me now?
A little
Better.
bit, but it's kind of faded.
Hold on, let me see. I can
we got
try
you
to
now.
put on
Oh,
headphones.
you're good now. Yeah.
You're good? I'm good?
Yeah. So how'd you come about us?
So I came across I was just doing something. I think it was around the time when the Accountant movie came out. And I had seen the video you did, a little snippet on Instagram, and I was like, oh wow, like this is really deep. And then that episode 2 is deep in itself, like the analysis behind that. And as you said, Spencer, like you were saying, about him also having OCD, but also like autism, like how those things like overlap within his character, but like in reality they really don't. They're two vastly different things. So like just like that breakdown or whatnot, that episode put me on the
Damn, so it just randomly popped up, huh?
yeah.
That's the algorithm.
Blessings. When were you diagnosed autistic?
So I want to say I want to say when I was like very young, like
Okay.
I know my mother was telling me that like at first I wasn't talking like at the exact age, and she wanted to go get me checked out with a speech pathologist. I'm trying to remember the story, but she said she went that, and then she put me in like different like settings and groups or whatnot to just like see and examine. And at first it was autism, and then like later on they found out that I also had ADHD too.
Okay. Went from nonverbal to now talking, doing your own podcast. That's a fucking amazing thing, man. It's an amazing thing. Yeah. That's fucking awesome, man.
So yeah, I'm good on questions. I just kind of wanted to know how you came about us. There's a bunch of other questions I could ask, but I know we're probably running on short on time. Really glad that you found us. I'm glad that we set this up. I'm glad that you were persistent and made sure I set this shit up.
Yeah.
But the reason why I didn't get back to you, and I do want to apologize for something, it took me a while because I was just very tired and overwhelmed. And eventually I saved your email. Some people that I like want to have on, I saved them for like 2, 3, 4 months. And finally I was like, all right, I'm definitely, and I remember you were like, hey man, just want to circle back to this. I'm like, fuck it. Let me just get the energy to send this damn email. And then I sent it and I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
no
good.
problem. All good.
So that's why it took a while. Homeboy, I'm just tired. Just tired.
I get it. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. But I didn't want to make sure you didn't feel offended by it. I apologize if you were.
No, I didn't at all. No.
Okay.
All good. I didn't feel offended.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right when you're ready.
All right. All right. Quincy, where can people find you? Find your stuff, your socials. Where can people listen to your podcast? What are you doing with your life? But yeah, give us a little plug on where people can find you.
Cool. So you guys can find my podcast on Spotify, and I just released the episodes 2 on Apple Podcasts. So I'm just really trying to expand my platform, but those are the 2 that you can find it at.
Okay.
Socials, I'm on mostly on Instagram, Quincy495. So.
Okay.
Quincy, what's the podcast name on Spotify and Apple?
Yeah, the mask we wear.
The mask we wear. Okay.
The masks we wear. All right. Awesome. Well, everybody, go check out Quincy's podcast, The Mask We Wear. Amazing podcast, especially talking about just the masks that we wear on an everyday basis. And just saying, like, why do we do that? Why do we do those things? Amazing stuff. Quincy, pleasure having you. Great questions. Love having you. Yeah, and always you can come back on anytime. So just let us know. We'll give you on for the next season.
Yeah,
all right,
for sure.
Yeah, totally.
It was definitely a pleasure. Like I liked it, and now I'm thinking I should have brought up Dexter because it's just like now I'm like you guys like that. I was like, yo,
next time. How about that? How about the next time you're on, Brent? We'll talk
do whatever
more
you
about
want,
that,
brother. We'll probably you'll be a reoccurring yearly guest most likely. Sorry.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Of course, man. All right. With that, I'm Spencer. That's Nas, Different Spectrum Podcast.
All right, everyone. Peace. Go check out Homies Podcast. Support our brethren. Much love, and remember. Why was that funny, Spence? I feel like that
because you just like went on a whole tangent, like instead of just doing the regular thing. Like,
all right, everyone. Much love. Remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
And that's up to you. Peace.
Damn.